Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason. Speaking here in my parents' basement, in the great state of Kansas, and coming to this video, this live stream, and I've finally gotten to the point I can rank all the Alien Predator movies. Something I've been kind of gearing up to for several months when I started this project idea. And the idea came from just the fact that I had never seen an Alien movie before, and I know we had Alien Romulus just come out like a year ago, and people talk a lot about the Alien movies. There's people are big fans of those movies, and I kept away from them my whole life just because I thought they were kind of like these scary kind of horror movies, and they were like really gross and gruesome, the violence, and I kind of keep away with from those kind of movies. So it didn't seem like my kind of movie, so I just kind of kept away with it all. And I connected that with the Predator movies because we do have two Alien versus Predator movies, so they kind of seem to coincide the universes, and we see little hints of both in the different universes. So, because of the tie-in, I decided to add the Predator movies as well to my ranking and watch all of them. Um, yeah, so I watched every Alien. Well, I should say I've never seen an Alien movie before. Predator, I've seen like three Predator movies, I think, before I started this project of watching all the movies and ranking them, reviewing them, and then do this ranking. So it was interesting to kind of see the whole journey of the Alien movies, and also see a lot of the Predator movies I haven't seen yet or missed out on. And of course, we start with the very first movie, Alien, coming out like in '79 or something like that. So and then Predator Badlands just came out a couple weeks ago, which I just reviewed yesterday. So that's kind of the gamut there. In total, there's 15 movies that I watched and reviewed on the channel, and I'm gonna put in the ranking here. There's one movie I guess I didn't watch, but I didn't think about it as a movie. It's called like Predator: Killer of Killers. I think it's like a streaming animation, I guess, movie. And I know my friend Norn Rad89. He did a ranking recently. He ranked all the Predator movies, I believe, and he ranked Predator Killer Killers in there. And I watched someone else, AJ's movie, his channel. He also ranked all the movies, and he put that in there. So it is the one movie I did not watch was the Predator Killer Killers. And I guess to me, I didn't think of it really as like a movie. I guess it was like a bunch of shorts. I know it was like three shorts put together, I guess, on streaming. So I don't know. I didn't think of it as like a full movie, I guess, because it was like really just like three shorts put together. And it came on streaming, and it's an animation movie. It's the only animation movie in the series, I guess. I don't know. I didn't count it as a official movie, I guess, but maybe it is. So I might have missed out on that. But I guess I don't really care. I'll just keep that out and just do the other 15 movies, which are pretty good, even kind of number, I guess, to do anyways. So saying that, we get through, I'll go from 15 to my favorite movie in the series. So coming in at number 15th, my least favorite movie in the Alien Predator series is Prometheus. That is the movie I hated the most. It was the worst movie of the series, part of the Alien series. It was Ridley Scott's comeback in the series. He made the very first movie, then other people made other movies, and then he came back with this Prometheus movie, which was exciting, I think, for the fans to go, oh man, Ridley Scott coming back to this very popular franchise that he started. And for me, it was the most boring, most slow moving movie of the series. And that's just Ridley Scott. I think he does a lot of boring, slow moving movies. I'm not the biggest fan of Ridley Scott, though he does make a couple really good movies out there that I like. But yeah, this had all the Ridley Scott makings of just a horrible movie for me. Um, it looked good. Like he's good at making movies with great set design, great makeup work, cinematography. Like all that's actually done really well. I can see why people would like that part. Weird thing about this movie, it's the only movie in the Alien series that doesn't have the word alien in it. Every movie is alien something or whatever. It has alien and then something afterwards. This is the only one that just named Prometheus. It's named after the ship in the movie. So even the name itself just makes it feel like less of an alien movie. And there's really no xenomorph alien in it. There are some aliens that appear in the movie, I guess, that have similar styles to the xenomorph alien, but it just feels like it lacks what needs to be in an alien movie. And I just absolutely hated the plot of like they're gonna go find these aliens called the engineers who created life, and I guess to me it's like, no, God of the Holy Bible created life, not some alien species. I know I'm probably being too, reading too much into that, but I don't know. To me, it just bothered me that go, no, I don't like they keep God out of it, of course, because I believe in God. So I don't know. To me, I thought the whole plot was really bad and stupid, and even the ending. I don't know. It was just a very hard movie to get through. It was just too painstakingly boring. Anyway, so yeah, number 15 is Prometheus. Number 14, I have Alien 3, the third of the first original Alien series, that has Sigourney Weaver in it as Ridley. It seems to be supposed to be like the third and last in that series with Sigourney Weaver. I think that was going to be her last movie. It was probably the idea behind it. And it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling a little bit, but I hate the fact that we came off the second movie, Aliens, which you'll see later in my ranking. It ended really well. It had a kind of a good ending to it, and the beginnings of this movie kind of ruined everything that happened at the end of the Aliens movie. And I'll get more into that later. But so I hated what they did. This movie kind of ruins the second movie, which I hate in a sense. And I hate that the second movie is a really. It's hard to not talk about the second movie without when I'm talking about Alien 3, because it just comes right after. It's like chronologically, and in the movie it starts almost right after the second movie, them escaping from the second movie and coming into this third one. Sigourney Weaver, Ridley's in a like escape pod with two other people, and the second movie had a bunch of xenomorph aliens, had a bunch of uh, humans, and they're fighting, and that was exciting. It was interesting. uh, Well, the first movie to me, again, I'm sorry, it's hard not to talk about the other movies when I'm talking about this one. The first movie, was just one alien on a ship picking people off one at a time. Anyways, second movie was like this bunch of xenomorph aliens fighting a bunch of humans. You get to, and I really like that. I guess I'll spoil already. I really liked Aliens the second movie way more than the first movie, Alien. And I like that style that the second movie did more than just one alien picking people off in a ship. I didn't think it was as interesting. So then we get to the third movie, Alien 3, and we go back to kind of the same formula as Alien 1. So to me, it was going back to what I didn't like. After the second movie is what I liked. This movie goes back to, oh, we're going to have one xenomorph alien. This time she crashes onto a prison planet full of male criminals that are all bald for some reason. And there's no guards, I guess. They kind of just run the prison themselves, but they can't get off the planet. So they just live in this prison building. And so, she comes across this. And I can't remember exactly what happens. Somehow there's a xenomorph alien also gets on into the prison. Somehow, I guess, is in the escape pod or something. I don't know how that worked, but anyways, so xenomorph alien eventually, or a face hugger, I guess a face hugger or something like that, impregnates a cow or something, and then that's where the xenomorph alien comes through. And so now we got one xenomorph alien in this prison on this planet, and it's picking prisoners off one by one, basically, or two by two. So we go back to that really boring formula for me, and I really hated that. And it's weird, Sigourney Weaver coming back, and then she had to shave her head off because everybody was bald in this place. It wasn't as interesting of a look, and I don't know, it just was an interesting story. Just again, she's on this. They can't. They're trying to, you know, there's no rescue. They're like stuck on this planet, so they're trying to get to somebody to come rescue them because she knows this alien's gonna pick them all off, and she's trying to give them advice on how to fight this one alien. It was just really boring and not interesting of a story. And also, the thing that maybe makes this come in at number 14 for me is the CGI was so terrible. The xenomorph alien, as it's running around, man, was it horrible CGI. So it never was scary because all I can see was a really bad CGI alien creature running around. And when something doesn't look real, it's not scary. And that's the whole point of these movies, I think, is to be a little scary, a little thrilling, tense. I didn't feel any intensity in this movie at all. and it has a pretty horrible ending. And again, I'm gonna spoil this ending. I'm sorry, but I have to talk about this ending. But it ends with her basically killing herself at the end. Sigourney Weaver's character, Ridley, because there's an alien, I guess, Queen Alien inside of her or something. I don't understand how that works either. I missed what happened there, but so and the company wants to get the Queen Alien out of her so they can use it, and she doesn't want that, so she ends up like uh, jumping into this water or whatever that kills her. And so it seems like, okay, this is the end of this great character, this great series, supposedly great series of the Alien franchise, is to have her just kill herself off, and that's the end of it. I don't know. It was a terrible way to end. I think the try to end the series. I think the end of Aliens was way better ending to the series than this third one. Like, why did they make this third one just to ruin everything that happened in the second movie and ruin the character? And anyway, just a bad ending. They ended up making a fourth one. I'll get to here, actually in the next in number 13. But yeah, I think it's all just terrible. Which brings me to the 13th, my 13th movie in this in my ranking, and that is Alien Resurrection, the fourth movie. So yeah, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection came back to back. Definitely the two of the worst. Prometheus is the worst. These are all Alien movies, but they definitely were the worst in these series. But yeah, coming off of that, they decide to bring, after they kill off the character, and I think some years would go by, and they decide to bring Sigourney Weaver back to play Ridley kind of again uh, in in this movie. And of course, you have to explain, how do you get this character killed herself off in the third movie? So how do you get her back in the fourth movie? And it's this really stupid. Again, the plot is so stupid, I think, and that's what really hurts this movie. This idea, like, oh, they somehow they cloned her, and so this is and we're like way in the future, I think, at this point. And so we got a clone of Ridley way into the future. So it's not really Ridley, it's a clone of Ridley, but it's like Ridley because it looks like her and everything. And we got Sigourney Weaver back into the part. And again, Sigourney Weaver didn't want to do a fourth one. I think she was done with the series, but it was one of those things where they gave her so much money that she just said, "Okay, yes," because how can I turn down this much money that they're giving her for to come back to reprise this like really famous role? And so she comes back and does it, and the whole thing is just they're on a ship, I think, and there's three xenomorph aliens, and they escape, and so now they're all trying to get onto escape pods or something like that, try to escape the ship. And also, she like gives, well, the Queen Alien, I guess that was inside of her in the third movie. Again, I don't understand how that worked, but I don't get any of it. But anyways, that alien, Queen Alien, is alive on this ship for some reason, I guess, and then it gives birth to this hybrid, this alien human hybrid that tr- that thinks that Sigourney Weaver's Ridley is her mom, the mom of this alien hybrid. It is so crazy of an idea. It's so stupid. I thought it was so weird too. And I think one of the things I hate about this movie is it was really weird. And it was this French director who I think never made a like successful movie in America. And so they give it to this French director. I think he had this very weird sense of filmmaking that, I don't know, the movie is just off-putting. It just didn't feel right. Just the whole vibe of the movie, in my opinion. You know, you had Winona Ryder in here, you had Ron Perlman. You had some interesting actors here, in fact, and it's supposed to be some action because there are these like, space pirates that are on the ship, and there's like three aliens, so that's at least a positive. Probably the only reason why I put this above Alien 3 is that there's three aliens, and a queen alien and then a hybrid, compared to just like the one alien on Alien 3. So I give a little more credit, I guess, but still, it was overall really boring and stupid. And the aliens still looked pretty bad. They looked a little bit better than Alien 3, but still, the CGI was still pretty bad. The worst part was when they're swimming. There's one part where they get into water, and the xenomorph aliens are like swimming after them, and they're like trying to get away. Where I was like, wow, that looks really bad, the CGI on those. And I hate the whole alien uh, uh, human hybrid that comes at the end. Is a very, I mean, at least it's practical effects. I'll give it that. This looks like there's some practical effects there. It is a weird looking alien hybrid thing. and it has like a tongue, and it like licks her, and it's like, what is going on here? And then it goes after them on the escape pod, and they have to kill it. I thought that was stupid. I didn't like that at all. Anyway, so yep, Alien Resurrection here at number 13 on the list. Number 12 is going to be maybe one of the more controversial. There's going to be a couple probably controversial uh, picks on here. Number 12, this is the movie that people really like, and I did not, and that is Prey at 12 here, which is another pretty recent movie in the Predator series. It was one just before the Predator Badlands. It came out maybe a couple years ago on, I think, on Hulu or something like that. And Dan Trachtenberg, he's only done like 3 or 4 movies now. And he did The Killer of Killers. I didn't see. He did Predator Badlands. Anyway, so he does this Prey, which of course is an interesting play on the Predator series. Of course, instead of calling it Predator, we're calling it Prey. And it's also a period piece movie, which we really haven't done before, where we're going to go back to Native Americans and a different protagonist. When we got Native Americans, we're talking about, like America before maybe, became a country. And all we got is Native Americans, and we got some French traders also in the movie. And a predator comes in and starts killing them. And the main protagonist is this woman, this Native American woman, who wants to be a warrior, but of course women can't be warriors because they're women. They have to do the domestic stuff while the men go out and kill stuff. Anyways, but she wants to be one of the warriors, which is stupid. It's like, I feel like we've done this plot many times before. I hate plots where women want to be the warriors. Like, no, you're a woman. You're not a warrior. That's for the men. They're bigger, stronger. That's what they're made for. And in every society, women never were warriors. That just wasn't a thing because it doesn't make any sense because they're not big and strong as men. Anyway, so I don't know. I didn't care for the whole plot. It seemed like a little bit of a liberal wokeism plot to me. Yeah, and then they come across the predator and it kills people, but I didn't think any of the action was that interesting. I didn't think the story was interesting, and I hated the fact that it was all done in like the Native American language, so it was all subtitled. I'm not a fan of having to read subtitles while I'm watching a movie, so that was a big downer to me, is having to read subtitles while I'm watching it. I don't know, and I thought it was just really boring, and I didn't care about the characters and then and the predator pretty much kills all the men, and so this one protagonist woman like outsmarts the predator, or the Yokja, I guess we call it now, and kills it. And it's like, oh, okay. It just felt, yeah, none of the men could do it, but this one woman figured out how to kill it. Like, it's the only time we've kind of had that in the series, I think. I shouldn't say that. Obviously, Sigourney Weaver playing Ridley obviously kills aliens in her series as well. But I don't know. It didn't work as well as Ridley character does in that series. Anyway, I don't know. I just didn't care for this movie at all. And I've seen a lot of people really like Prey. I know Norrin Rad 89, if he's watching this, I know it was like your second favorite movie in the Predator series. So that's one where we both disagree quite a bit. I didn't care for this movie at all. So at number 12 is Prey. All right, number 11. This is going to be another controversial pick here, but I have to tell you the truth. This is how I feel. And number 11, I have Alien here, the very first movie that kind of started this whole series. First movie I watched in the series, coming way back 79 or so. Yeah, it's the original movie. It's a movie that people absolutely love. I've seen a lot of people say it's their favorite in the series. Um, I don't know. It's one of those movies that I don't know, people have a lot of nostalgia for because maybe they saw it when they were kids back in the day, and it's got some scariness to it. It's got some originality to it as far as the alien design, I think, and what it does, and some of the ideas. Like, it does have good ideas, of course, that would go on through the series, like the face hugger alien that impregnates you, and then the alien pops out of your chest. That is a really gruesome idea, and interesting idea, an original idea. That was really, I think helped the movie, helped the creep factor, helped the scary, tense factor of the movie for sure, gross factor as well. So yeah, it had some good ideas that start everything. So I get that, you know, you can get. If the reason why it's not lower on my list is because it's the very first movie, so I give it some credit for coming up with a lot of the original ideas here in the series, and that the influence it has in movies. I recognize it is an influential movie in, I guess, sci-fi horror or whatever you want to say. But in watching the movie, I finally watched this movie the first time several months ago because everybody talks about it, and I was like, I should watch this movie. Everybody talks about it. It's a favorite of a lot of people, and I watched it, and I thought it was really boring. It was very slow moving. And again, it's Ridley Scott. It's he directed his first movie, and like the movie starts off, and they're just in an empty ship, and people are like waking up from hypersleep or something. And so there's a lot of this moments of just the camera going through the ship and nothing's going on, and I'm like, what is this? This is so boring. There's nothing going on. And we see him kind of wake up, and that's very, it takes a long time just watch them wake up. And then they go and they're like sitting in the kitchen or something, or around this table, drink coffee, and they're talking. And it's like, oh my God, this is so boring. Nothing is happening. I thought this was supposed to be a scary movie, intense, and all this. Anyways, so it takes forever until they finally get onto the planet, and they come across the facehugger that then impregnates John Hurt's character, and they bring him back, and then they have that scene, and that's when the movie gets a little more intense and exciting because we finally get the alien pops out of his chest, and then it starts picking everybody off on the ship, and we have that whole thing. But again, it just picks one after one, so it's kind of boring because you're, it's and it just I know they probably elongate the scenes and make it more intense, like because you're just waiting, like, oh my gosh, when's the alien gonna pop out? But to me, I just found it just so boring and slow moving. Oh my gosh, and it's just one alien picking people off in one ship. It's not that interesting of a story or an idea. And Alien itself didn't look that great to me. It looked like a guy in a suit. That's what I felt like, and it was a guy because they didn't have the technology to really make a good alien creature. Now the close-ups look good because I think they had like an animatronic alien or something that they did the close-ups on. Those look really good. But when it's a wide shot and it's an alien moving around, I just really noticed it was like, okay, that's a guy in a suit. It's not scary. It takes me out of the movie. So I wasn't really scared. I was afraid this movie was going to be too scary for me. It turns out it wasn't that scary at all. I didn't find the movie scary or intense or anything. Um, I don't know. I don't get why people love this movie so much, except for the nostalgia factor, or that it's a big influence in other movies. Maybe I don't know. I don't get it. I thought it was just a really boring, slow moving movie that I just didn't care for. So yeah, sorry, but Alien number 11 doesn't even crack my top 10 in the series. Which you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but that's what I'm going with. All right, getting to number 10 on this on the series, I have Predator 2 at number 10, the sequel. And this is one I've seen like before when I was a kid. I think I caught it on TV, and so watching again, and I was pretty disappointed back when I was a kid. Watching again, I'm still pretty disappointed. And again, maybe that's because coming off the first movie, it was so iconic, with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the lead and they're in the jungle. And so the second one, they're like, all right, they couldn't get Arnold Schwarzenegger back, so now I'm forgetting the name of the actor, but Danny Glover. They get Danny Glover to replace Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is like, yeah, that doesn't really work that well when you have such an iconic actor like. And Danny Glover's a good actor, but he's just not an action actor like Arnold Schwarzenegger is, and that worked so well the first movie because of Schwarzenegger. I think is a good reason why that first movie was successful. So you put Danny Glover in it, it just doesn't work as well as having Schwarzenegger. And it's set in like a city, like in LA or something like that. And I think the Predator works way better when he's like in a jungle setting or stuff like that, which most of the movies kind of have more of a jungle setting. I think with the Predators, or even I guess Alien vs Predator, they're like in an underground ancient temple or something. Stuff like that works for the Predator, I think, but just having them out in a city, I don't know, it's just not as interesting of setting for me. And this movie just felt so unnecessary, I guess, because it's like the whole movie is we follow these cops as they're trying to take down these two gangs that are at war with each other. I think one was like a Mexican gang, maybe, and the other one was a Jamaican voodoo gang, which makes absolutely no sense. Has there ever been a problem with Jamaican voodoo gangs in LA? I I don't know my history of gangs in LA, but it just that seems like a weird one to pick. Jamaican voodoo. Uh, Besides the fact that Jamaicans don't do voodoo, that's the Haitians are the voodoo people. Jamaicans don't do. I don't know. It was really stupid right away. It's like, what? Why do we have this Jamaican voodoo gang? It doesn't make any sense. But it's really just about these cops trying to stop this gang warfare, and there's some action scenes, and they're trying, anyways. And so it almost felt like you didn't even need the Predator. It was like, I'm like, oh, this is like just like cop drama. And then of course the Predator shows up and starts killing these gang members, and for some reason I don't even know why he's involved at all in this movie. Like, why is he here? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Um, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, there's this alien, that's involved, and I don't know. It just seems again didn't really need that. It felt like a movie that didn't need the Predator. It just kind of shows up and like, okay, I guess it's a Predator movie now because, um, yeah, I don't know. It was just so uninteresting and so uninspired compared to the first movie. It was such a downturn, I think, and that's what hurts this movie. And just Dan Glover, just he's not a bad actor, but it just doesn't work in this movie for me. Especially at the end, he actually has to fight one of the Predator aliens, the Yaktjaws, and he kills it in hand-to-hand combat, which is so stupid, makes no sense. Even though he has a Yaktja weapon, and he kind of surprises it, I guess, and kind of comes out. I guess maybe the Yaktja was too cocky, and he happens to stab it with the weapon, and he kills it. But still, it's like, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger had to trick the alien to kill it and put it in a trap. He couldn't go one on one. He didn't win by hand to hand combat with an alien, with a Yaja. But the idea that Danny Glover is going to kill this Yaja in hand to hand combat, just really stupid, made no sense. And I don't know, the movie just, again, and then the Yajas just leave, and it's like, what was the point in all that? I don't know. Yeah, so it's down here pretty low on my Predator series and on this whole series because of that. It was just a real uh, bummer of a sequel. All right, that case takes me to number 9 on my list. Number 9, I'm actually putting Alien versus Predator Requiem here, the second of the Alien versus Predator series. Um, this is interesting because it comes right off of the first movie, and this again is set. I don't like the setting again so much because it's set in like the suburban America, and we have this alien Predator hybrid this time, which is not a bad idea. It's a different idea that, so we're not doing the same thing every time, but basically all these xenomorph aliens kind of start growing in the suburban. They start killing people in the suburban area. And we have this one Predator alien, Jaja, I guess, that's coming to investigate. And he's out there to kill all these xenomorphs and all this. We do get some good, again, what I like about these two movies that they do, the Aliens vs. Predators, I do like when the Yacht Jaws face off against the Xenomorph aliens. I think that's an interesting, that's why it's versus, I think it's an interesting, fight scenes and ideas. In this one, like there's a big fight scene where he's like in the sewers where they're kind of their home base, and he's killing, most of them are attacking him. He's killing with different technology. Because it's interesting because the xenomorphs really are just like almost like insects. They just grow and they outnumber you, and they're strong and they're vicious, and they got a tail that's very dangerous. They can stab you with their tail. They also have that mouth within a mouth thing that can also just kind of stab through you, uh, and all this. So they're very dangerous, but they don't really, doesn't seem like they're really they're not technologically advanced. They don't, they have a queen mother, but they don't really have a society of technology and all this stuff. While the Predators are interesting because the Yacht Jaws, because they have all this cool technology, weaponry, and armor, and they seem to have more of a society and all this government, maybe and stuff like that. Aliens don't have like a government; they're just out to kill. All the Predators seem like they're more can think, and plan and all this. So it does make for interesting, two aliens fighting each other. The Yacht Jaws and the Xenomorphs. And so I like some of that. There's some good action scenes there and all this. And the big problem though is the movie is so dark. Like physically, it's hard to tell what was going on sometimes because it was just they decide to make. And a lot of times they do that because they don't trust, I guess, the CGI work, and so they make it dark so you can't see any of the bad CGI. I don't know, but it definitely was very. And I've heard other people say it, so I'm not the only one. So that's definitely the thing I noticed the most when I was watching it, going, this movie's just way too dark. Like lighten it up a little bit so I can see what's going on. So in some of them, there's some quick takes. The editing was a little off, where again, it just took away from it. And I just didn't care about the human characters. I didn't care about the setting. So overall, I didn't give this. I give this a not recommend. But again, at least it had some action in it, and I enjoyed that. So it's here at number 9. Uh, of course, all these so far have been movies I don't recommend in the series. And when I get to my 7th movie, there'll actually be 7 movies that I recommend in the series. So we're almost there. Number 8, I have The Predator. This is a somewhat recent movie. It came out, I don't know when it came out, but uh, I remember coming out, like I said, and I remember getting really bad reviews. And the fact it was like in top 10 worst movies kind of thing. I think it's not actually that bad. Like I don't give a recommend. It's still a not recommend, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I think the two things. It's a shame. It's Shane Black coming back. He was in the very first Predator movie as an actor, and then he got to direct this movie. So it's kind of cool to have Shane Black come back into the series and be the writer director. I think the action actually was really well done. I actually liked a lot of the action scenes, and I liked the very last action scene because there's like this in this movie. There's like one predator guy who's supposed to be a yacht jaw that's kind of helping the humans, but yet he kills a lot of humans too. So it's hard to say is he a good guy. But then you get this really bad yacht jaw who's like way bigger than a normal yacht jaw. He's like an advanced yacht jaw, I guess. And he was all CGI, which that's the one thing I hated. I hate all CGI alien creatures. I think it kind of ruins the reality or the intensity or the and all that. Anyway, so they have this huge like yacht jaw who's kind of the main, but they do have an action scene at the end where they all have to fight this big yacht jaw to try to take him out. And I thought it actually was really well done. The whole action sequences and how they finally kill it. I actually kind of enjoyed that. And that's why it's up a little bit in the middle of my ranking. Two things I think that ruined it. One is the CGI. I hated that. There's also these like CGI kind of almost like dog-like aliens that appear in the movie. It's real CGI'd again, where I'm like, it just takes me out all the CGI in it. Compared to some of the other Predator movies where it's a real person and real makeup and stuff and a suit and all that. The other thing is the humor did not work. Shane Black is known for kind of his humor, I think, in his movies, and they definitely tried in here. And there's this whole group, these military prisoners, and when they come in, they try too hard to be funny, and it just came off very cringe. And so I think the humor did not work in this movie, unfortunately, like it does in some Shane Black movies. And I like some Shane Black movies, but I don't know, it didn't work as well here, and the CGI and everything. And I almost want to give this recommend, but I give it a slight not recommend just because I didn't like some of the characters and the humor and all the CGI. Yeah, I don't know. It's very close, but again, I think it's actually not as bad as people say it is. So I don't know why people hate it so much. But anyways, so here, right in the middle, number 8, The Predator. Takes me to number 7, the first movie in the series I'm actually going to recommend that I actually kind of liked. And number 7, we have Alien Covenant, which is a bit surprised because I hated Prometheus so much. It's number 15 on my list. But the sequel to Prometheus, Alien Covenant, I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was way better than Prometheus. And this is the second movie that Ridley Scott directed right in a row. These are all kind of prequels to the original Alien movie, I guess. All stuff happened before that event. But this one, again, I like the fact that we have Alien in the title, Alien Covenant. I think it's much better than just calling it Prometheus. Again, it's like most. It ties into the last movie because it's another whole group of people on a spaceship, and they land on this planet, and it happens to be the planet that the Michael Fassbender synthetic is on that came from the Prometheus movie. And so they kind of meet up with him, and they do have a xenomorph alien or xenomorph like alien in it, which I liked, that Prometheus did not. So they have them, getting attacked by the xenomorph, which I like because that's what we want to see in these movies. That was a bit of an upgrade. And again, the movie looks really good. Like, I think the whole cinematography is good, set designs, makeup work, everything, again, looks really good. I do think the story is way better. I do like the story. They kind of, there's they come from a bigger ship and they get like on on a way ship. The way ship ends up exploding, and so they can't get back to the main ship. And there's like a storm, so they have to hide out in this place where Michael Fassbender character is. And we get Michael Fassbender in two different characters, which I really like. I thought he was really good as the two synthetics, and I like kind of where the story goes. I love the plot twist that happens. I think is really well done. I think the performances are really good too. Not just Michael Fassbender, but one comedic actor I thought was actually really good, and he wasn't funny at all in the movie. And I'm not gonna remember his name, but it's a guy that only does comedy, and he actually plays a more serious role. I thought he did really good. I was really surprised, like wow, he can actually act. I thought and even I forget the guy who plays kind of the captain is a known actor, and so there's a couple known actors in here. I think do a really good job. Oh, Danny McBride. Danny McBride is the name of the actor I'm thinking of. He does a lot of comedy, but he actually is very serious. This movie he gives a good performance. So I did like the overall performance of the cast, and I thought it was an interesting cast overall. And then they get back onto the main ship, and one xenomorph alien comes with them, and then they do have to kill that xenomorph alien because it's going to kill everybody that's left that didn't get killed already. So we do get some of that, but I think it was actually a little bit better done, more intense, and those scenes were done way better. The xenomorph alien is CGI, but he looks better than most of the other movies where there's a CGI xenomorph. I think he looks better in this movie. It wasn't as off-putting, didn't hurt the movie as much. Um, and then I think it really pulls it over is the very end, and I won't give it away, but the plot twist at the end, which I saw coming. It's funny. When I was watching, I go, "Oh, I think this is how it's going to end," and it ended the way I thought. Yet it didn't ruin it for me. Sometimes that does, but this time I'm like I was happy because I was like, "Yes, this is the way the movie should end." I love the way this movie ends. It doesn't necessarily end on a happy note like I normally like it, but not a really terrible note either. Not like a real sad like everybody dies note, but not a real victory note either. It's kind of in between. But I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it when it happened. I was like, yeah, that was a cool plot twist. I liked it a lot. So that's why I'm giving a light recommend, a 3 out of 5 stars here at number 7, Alien Covenant. Number 6, we have Alien versus Predator, the first Alien versus Predator movie before Requiem. And this was one actually I had seen, not in the movie theater, but I think I saw on TV eventually, way back when it came out. And I was definitely very interested. I like the idea of the alien, the xenomorphs going against the yacht jaws is an interesting idea, and then the humans are trying to survive it. Anyways, and it's PG-13. It was like the first PG-13. I think there's only maybe two PG-13 movies in the whole series, and that is Predator Badlands, which just came out, and also Alien vs Predator. Now, some people might not like that because they want their, Predator movies and Alien movies to be very rated R, very violent. I don't care. I don't need to be super violent. I'm fine with PG-13. That never bothers me when a rated R movie becomes PG-13 or whatever. I don't know. Some people it does. I thought this was a really fun movie, and this is another one I don't think gets very good reviews, but I had a blast with it. I love the yacht jaws and the xenomorph alien fights. I thought were really well done. There's one really good one where they're going like one on one, and there's one where I love this xenomorph's trying to sneak up behind yacht jaw, and he kind of quickly just slices his face off. I thought that was really cool. There's some cool stuff like that in there. The yacht jaw gets attacked by the face huggers, and he has to like cut him down. That was good. Um, and then you have plenty of humans to get killed, so that's good. You want to see a lot of humans get killed as well. Anyway, so you get a lot of that. And then I like how it ends with the main yacht jaw who's alive teams up with the main girl character, and they kind of team up because they both, can't because there's a xenomorph alien that they have to kill, and so they kind of join forces to go up against the xenomorph mother. I thought that was good. I like that they team up and kill it, and then the Yaja kind of leaves, and there's some kind of mutual respect between Yaja and the human. I don't know. I kind of like that. I thought that was a good way to end it and to do the story. And I kind of like I definitely like the Yajas better than the Xenomorphs because they have more personality. So I like that the Yajas kind of helps the humans out. It kind of comes out as almost kind of a good guy in some sense. Anyway, and I like the setting. The setting is they go underground and there's like a hidden temple full of face huggers, and humans go down there and then they get impregnated, and there's like a queen mother down there, and then yacht just come down there to kill it. Anyways, I like the setting because the tempo constantly changing, so it's kind of scary because things are moving around, and there's plenty of times when you can get attacked by a xenomorph, so it's got intensity to it. I don't know. I thought it was a fun movie. I like it, I think, a lot better than other people. Still, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's not like one I love, but I liked it quite a bit. And it's here at number 6, Alien versus Predator. All right, takes me to number 5. So top 5 on this list. Number 5, I'm putting Alien Romulus on here. Yeah, a movie that just came out last year. I know my friend Norman Rat89 really liked that movie. It was his favorite horror movie of the year. I thought it was interesting. I heard some, divisive reviews. Some people really liked it. Some people really didn't like it, or whatever. Anyways, I think it's the best made movie in the series, the Alien series. As far as look, it looks great. Like the cinematography, I thought was really good. I thought special effects looked really good. I thought the aliens were very scary, and the scenes with them are very intense. Like to me, this was everything I wish the first Alien movie was. This movie was intense. It was scary at times. It was, you're on the edge of your seat, like what's going to happen next. I thought this movie delivered on a lot of that. There's some great scenes, like one where these characters are in a room and all these these face huggers kind of come out, and they really made the face huggers like more like spiders. So they're crawling around like spiders, which I hate spiders. Spiders scare the heck out of me. I'm kind of scared of spiders. So when the way they made the face hugger aliens kind of scurry around like a spider made them even more scarier to me. And then they also jump out at you. To me, that was great when they got attacked by multiple of them. And there's water, and they kept dropping in the water. There's nothing scarier than something under the water that you can't see. That's scary too. So I love that whole scene with them being attacked by these. And there's a bunch of them. Well, we've never seen that many face huggers in one scene, which I thought was really cool. And they're being chased. They're like running down the corridor, and there's all these face hugger aliens like crawling, like hundreds of them, just you know chasing after them. Oh, I thought that was great. And then there's a scene kind of towards the end where she gets attacked by a bunch of xenomorph aliens, but she has like this, laser gun. But you can see like on the side, the laser gun is starting to get less and less, and so once it gets to 0, then she like won't be able to shoot anymore. That was a good scene because she's shooting, killing all these xenomorph aliens, but she has to conserve her, ammo, I guess. And so you're thinking, oh gosh, I hope she has enough ammo to kill all of them before, because if there's one left, she's dead. She has to kill all these xenomorphs that are coming after her. I thought that was a cool action scene. Yeah, and there's a lot. It starts off kind of slow, but man, once it gets to the action, I thought the action scenes were done really well and are tense and all that. So like that. The other thing that makes this not go higher on my list is I really hated the ending. The ending I thought was terrible. Again, there's like this one girl gives birth to she gets impregnated by like one of the face huggers, I guess, but she gives actual birth instead of it chest bursting. She actually gives birth like you give birth to a baby. So I think that's gross. I hate those kind of scenes. So she gives birth to this alien human hybrid. So again, we got the alien human hybrid. I don't know why I'm not a fan of the alien human hybrid aliens that come like this in Resurrection. And it's weird looking because it's kind of got a human face, but tongue has like kind of, it sucks your blood through its tongue. It was weird. And then all of a sudden, it felt like the movie was about over. All of a sudden, she gives birth to this new enemy that all of a sudden, oh no, now we're going to get attacked by this xenomorph human hybrid that's now wanting to kill them, and they got to escape from it. And I don't know, I just hated that. Hated the whole ending. Hated it because it looked very CGI'd, of course, and I don't know, the whole design of it was I didn't like. I don't know. It was just kind of off-putting the end, but there was a lot of good scenes in this movie, so that's why I have it this high at number 5, Alien Romulus. So I know Norman would be happy that I have it that high. All right, number 4, we have Predator Badlands, a movie I just reviewed yesterday. I just saw a week ago on Friday. New movie that came out a couple weeks ago. Yeah, already number 4, so pretty high on my list. And I gave my review yesterday, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I didn't love it. Give it like a light recommend. A lot of these are light recommendable movies, I guess, for me. Um, but I think the reason why I have it this high is just that it was very well paced. It had a lot of action in it. I like the character journey, and our main character this time is a yacht jaw named Dex. I don't know. I think it was just more entertaining than most of the other movies in the series, which have some maybe slow moments in it, or it takes a while to rev up. This movie, from right from the very beginning, had a lot of action in it and continued on through the very end. I liked the ending. I thought it had a really good ending as well, and I liked some of the characters there. It was too CGI. That was my big problem. It was too CGI, and I thought the design of Dex, the main Yatja, was terrible. I thought it was real cheap looking. It was really CGI. The face was all CGI'd. And it looked like a guy in a rubber suit. So I think design wise, it was terrible. But as far as just an entertaining movie, I found it very entertaining. So that's why it's here at number 4 on my list. The new movie Predator Badlands. I get into my top 3. Number 3, this is where we got the original Predator movie from the 80s, with the only movie that has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it in the series. A lot of people have put this number 1 on their list, at least amongst the Predator movies. I actually have one movie ahead of this, so that might be shocking and surprising, but this definitely belongs up there in the series. And this is the movie I saw as a kid, and I was always intrigued by I liked Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because I liked any movie, action movie where people are shooting each other. And anytime I saw an Arnold Schwarzenegger, I knew, oh, people are going to get shot. So I usually would watch it as a kid. So I watched a lot of 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies on TBS, TNT, USA as a kid, and this was one of those. I remember first time seeing it, just being like really like, I really was really into the movie, and I think I was really into this alien, this yacht jaw, who had invisibility cloak and had this cool mask on, and he had this thing shoulder that shoots out, and I don't know, it was a really cool design for an alien, and it's for the villain of the movie. And it's a very entertaining movie at times. I think the action sometimes are done very well. I love the cast when we first get in there, and Schwarzenegger's great. I mean, it's an iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, role. He's so macho. I think, and AJ from AJ Movies, I think he said this is the most like testosterone movie ever, the most macho movie you've ever seen, and he's right. There's all these really muscle bound guys in kind of these they're kind of military mercenaries or whatever they are, special forces, in this jungle. I love the jungle setting. I said that before, and I'll say it again. I love the settings where you're being hunted down in a jungle. I don't know, it just works really well. I like that they're all kind of military tough guys, and yet they're having trouble against this one yacht jaw. That's how powerful these aliens are. This one yacht jaw can take out these very special forces guys. Anyways, I love yeah, a lot of the characters. There's some good lines. My favorite is I'm bleed or you're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed. I think it's my favorite line. I always repeat that. Anytime I can say that line in real life, I'll say it. I don't get many opportunities, but I love that. I ain't got time to bleed. Of course, you got the "get to the chopper," which is like the most famous line from it. There's great stuff like that. I even like the action scene at the beginning, where before you even meet the predator, the Yaja, where they're just kind of on this rescue mission and they attack this. It looks like some Colombian drug lords or something. I don't know, and they take them out. Like, I actually really like the whole action sequence there. Carl Weathers, love Carl Weathers. I think he's great. A lot of the actors are really good here. But yeah, so you get all that, and then the movie takes a turn once they figure out they're being hunted by this alien. Because first they have no idea what's going on, and then when they find out that, oh, they're up against this alien, that's kind of interesting. And then it gets even better when it's just Schwarzenegger having to figure out how to get this alien, because he kills off everybody else basically. There are some slow parts to it, I think, and that's why it's not all the way to number 1. It could almost be. I don't know. I think there is some slow moments though before they reveal who or before they really know that this predator's attacking them, and they have to attack. I don't know. There's some moments that I just feel pacing wise wasn't good as it could be, I guess. And I hated every time they love showing the aliens view, the Yacht when the Yacht when we get to point, there's a lot of Yacht point of views, and it's all in infrared, and they have this sound, this like sound. It's so annoying, and they kept going back and back to the predator's point of view and the sound. I think they went to it too much, and it was very, very annoying. I'm glad in, like I said, most of the other Predator movies, I don't think they dialed it back, because I think that was one of the worst parts of the movie. And again, it does take a while until we finally get to that final showdown. And then that final showdown's great, with shirtless Schwarzenegger trying to trap come on, and trying to get and then the reveal. One of the best parts of the movie is when and Schwarzenegger figures out if he puts mud on him that the alien can't see the infrared, so he can kind of sneak around. I think that was pretty cool. That was a good reveal. But when the Yacht takes off his mask at the end and reveals what his face looks like, oh my gosh, that is incredible design. Whoever came up with the design, hopefully they got an Oscar, because they should. Because man, I love the four pinchers that come out. It's so cool. Even just the skin just is really cool looking. Uh, it's just a scary looking alien face. I thought they did such an amazing job with that. I do love that still to this day when the reveal is like, oh my gosh, that's what he looks like. You were one ugly mother, and he was. But yeah, it's a classic. It has to be up here. I'm with everybody. It's at number 3, but it might be surprising that's not number 1, but it is up here in my top 3. The very original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number 2 is going to be a big surprise. I think I like this movie a lot more than other people. A lot of people are going to think I'm crazy putting this aside, but number 2, I have Predators. Yeah, this one I like a little bit better than the original. And this is the more recent one where Adrian Brody's kind of the main, but there's a big cast of characters actually, and a really good cast. But Adrian Brody's here. We got like Topher Grace, Walter Goggins in here as well. Oh, what's his name? One famous Mexican actor is in here as well. That's really good. Lawrence Fishburne's in here. I mean, I really like the cast here, and I love that there's a lot of people here. I Yeah, this one I'm giving a 3.5. So the top 2 movies I give 3.5s. So nothing like really great like score wise, but 3.5 means it's a really solid movie. One that I wouldn't mind watching again, or I'd watch again. I would really recommend anybody, if you haven't seen it, watch it. I don't know. I really like the whole premise. I think this has maybe my favorite premise of all the Predator movies is all these people that are like, you find, well, I love how it starts with everybody kind of falls from the sky, they're parachuting, they don't know how they got there, and they don't know who the enemy is, and they think each other are the enemies, and they have to figure out, oh no, we're all in it together. We all were like kidnapped basically, and we're in this jungle. Again, I love the jungle setting. I think it's perfect for the Predator movies. And so now they're in the jungle. They don't know where they are, but most of them are like some kind of, and I love the diversity of like, they're all different parts of America, or different parts of the world, and they have some kind of background of violence. You have the I love that you have the Mexican drug cartel leader, you have an African warlord, you have a Russian military guy, American sniper, or something. Adrian Brody's like a mercenary, special forces guy. You have Walter Goggins plays an inmate on death row. Topher Grace plays a doctor or something who ends up being like a serial killer. I know it's a big reveal, but that's what it is. There's a Japanese yakuza gang leader or something. I love that they have all these different, people from different nationalities that are all, got violent pasts, and so the idea is that they put on this planet. They find out they're on an alien planet, which was a cool reveal. They're not in on Earth, which I didn't realize, and then the fact that they find out that they're being hunted by these yacht jaws. There's like 3 of them hunting them, and that they're all kind of been chosen because of their professions. I thought that was a really cool idea for a movie, and I love the mystery behind like, what are we doing here? Who are you? How is this all connected? And when they start revealing like, oh, this is an alien planet. We were all chosen to be here to be hunted by these aliens. And yeah, anyway, I thought it was all a cool idea, and how it all comes together, and how they kind of have to work together against the Yacht Jaws, who again are stronger and more technologically advanced, more dangerous than they are. And I don't know. I really like Adrian Brody here. Like I said in my review, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, not a great actor, but he's good in action scenes because he's muscle bound, and he does a good job in like Predator. Adrian Brody is not as muscle bound, but he's a really good actor. He's a two-time Oscar-winning actor, and he does a very good job here as like this more military guy who's very good at strategizing, and in military strategy. And I kind of like that with the character, that he's constantly coming up with ideas of like what we need to do, how we're going to attack these aliens, or how we're going to defend ourselves, And so he's kind of come up with a lot of strategy, and it kind of makes sense and it works in the movie, and how they might be able to defeat these Yajas, and they end up killing the Yajas kind of one by one with different tactics. Anyway, so I kind of like that. I love how they're working together. They're kind of enemies at first. I think the action is really well done as well, and I like the ending. I think is really well done, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a really fun movie, very well paced, and again, I think maybe the best story of all the Predator movies that I really was invested in. So that's why it's here at number 2. I know a lot of people are like, "What? This above Predator?" Yes, I really enjoyed Predators with an S. I thought it was a really good movie. That leads me to my number 1. And if you've been keeping track, you should be able to guess what my number 1 is. And I'm somewhat surprised. I wasn't expecting this to be my number 1, but it is Aliens, the second movie in the Alien series. It is, I think, the best movie in this 15 movies that I watched. And a lot of people, it's funny, and it's the second movie I saw in the series too. And I think I was really surprised at how much I liked this movie. I remember people saying to me before I started watching these, like the first Alien movie is more of a horror movie. It's more of a slow, this alien killing people in the ship, and it's supposed to be more of a tense, scary. While Aliens is more of an action movie and not as horror related or scary, anyways. And so I know a lot of people said, and knowing my personality, I know a lot of people said that you're probably like Aliens more than Alien. And I kind of expected that, but I thought, okay, I didn't know what I'd think. I didn't think I would like either movie that much. So when I saw Aliens, I kind of really got into it, and I was like, you know what? This is a really good kind of action sci-fi movie. And I loved it way more than the first movie. I saw a lot of people say the only two good movies are the first two, Alien and Aliens. And I kind of watched them. Of course, I didn't like the first movie, Alien, but I'm with them on Aliens. And so people were right. I did like this way more. I thought it was more of my style movie. But yeah, I didn't want to, again, I give it 3.5 stars. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. And again, I love it's way better pace. It's James Cameron this time instead of Ridley Scott. And this movie came out like almost a decade after the first movie. I feel like it was a long time before they made the second movie in the series for some reason. And I love this whole premise of like, yeah, we're gonna get this military, and we're gonna go on this planet or this colony that was overrun by the xenomorphs, kind of took everybody out, and they brought Ridley along because she's like the only person who survived, attacked by the xenomorphs. So she kind of comes on as advisor to this military operation. I like the characters, a lot of good characters. In Michael Biehn is great. I like him. What's his name? One guy. So annoying. He was the most annoying character, but it was funny just how annoying he was. Um, he's like, "Game over, man." He has that great line in the movie. Um, I'm forgetting his name. Bill Paxton. That's it. Bill Paxton. I remember now. Bill Paxton was great here. There's this female has a big gun in there. It's really good. I thought. You have the actor who plays Bishop, the synthetic. I thought was really good. Overall, yeah, really loved. Paul Reiser, which is weird seeing Paul Reiser here. Yeah, it was an interesting cast. I thought really good. I loved that we introduced kind of all these military people and this operation. I thought it was really well done. Uh, because it does take almost an hour before we get into action, but I thought it was set up so well, it didn't come off boring to me at all because I like the characters and I like the plot, everything that was going on. And then we get into the colony and start getting attacked by the xenomorphs. And yeah, I like this way better. Like I said, I like this premise where you're fighting multiple xenomorphs rather than just one xenomorph is, killing everybody on a ship or prison place. I love this idea that, oh yeah, we're gonna have these military people, so they have guns. They're gonna shoot and kill xenomorphs. Xenomorphs are gonna, of course, kill humans. So it's a kind of an even, almost even battle, except there's probably more xenomorphs, so they're kind of outnumbered. But still, it makes for good action sequences. I think overall, there's a couple really great shots in this movie. My favorite, like I said before, was like there's a shot where this guy, they're like stuck on this in this building, I think, and they're surrounded by xenomorphs, and they're like, and they have this one person like like stick your head out or something like that and see if if you see anything, and he sticks his head out, and you see all these xenomorph aliens like crawling like insects. Oh my gosh, what a great shot and scary kind of. I mean, in a sense, when you see all those xenomorphs crawling like insects, it's like, oh no, like this is not going to go good. I thought that was such a cool shot. Xenomorphs aliens actually look pretty good here too for a movie that came out in the 80s. I thought the practical effects looked really good here. No CGI, but it looked way better than the alien in the first Alien movie. They did something to make it look way better. That whole action sequence is great when they get attacked by all these xenomorphs. Really good stuff there. There's actually a really good tense scene where Sigourney and this little girl get attacked by. They're in a room. They get attacked by a face hugger. That's actually pretty scary, intense scene as well. I find the face huggers maybe even more scarier than the xenomorph aliens for some reason because they crawl around like spiders. I guess that's why I hate them so much. But anyways, so a lot of good stuff there. I love the queen. Also, the queen. This is the introduction to the xenomorph queen, who kind of gives birth to the face huggers, I guess, that then give birth to the xenomorphs. And I love the design. I thought it looked definitely again like an animatronic practical effect. I thought it looked great. I like the whole because it's like bigger than a normal xenomorph and it has like three arms. It is definitely a bigger, scarier alien you don't want to mess with. And I do love that Sigourney Weaver's character like connects with this little girl that's like a survivor on this, the only survivor they find in this colony. And I do love this mother daughter kind of relationship that they have, that they kind of connect with, and that she's there to protect her. And I like Michael Biehn a lot. He's kind of the main guy that kind of the only three survivors in the movie. I'm gonna spoil it is those three, and I thought they were all three really good together. Um, and I love that she goes to rescue the girl. I believe she gets captured or something, and she goes and rescues her. And then they try to escape, and and Bishop, the synthetic, is with them as well. And then that ending where they get attacked by they think they're going to escape and they think they're okay, and then they get attacked by the Queen Mother. Happens to like follow them onto the ship, and all of a sudden we got the showdown with the Queen Mother. That is such a great scene. I thought such a perfect ending to this movie. And I love that she gets into, and it's iconic and it's great for a reason. She gets into that, mechanical loader thing so she can fight the alien, of course, because she can't fight it as a human being. She'd die immediately. But she knows how to, they show earlier in the movie that she knows how to use one of these mechanical loader things to like pick up heavy objects. And she gets in it and she knows how to use it because we've seen it before. So I love that reveal when she comes out with the mechanical loader and the great line. I mean, and excuse me for my language, but that line where she's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like, oh my gosh, great line, great moment. And then she's fighting the queen alien with her machine. Ah, so great, and how they finally get her to suck her out into space. Say, I'm spoiling the whole ending, but it is so good. I loved it. I would say Sigourney Weaver, her best performance in all the four Predator movies she's in. She was nominated for Best Actress. That's how good she was in this movie, which is very odd. You don't usually get a Best Actress nomination in a kind of horror thriller, action movie like this. It's not usually your Best Actress type quality of performance, whatever. But she was really good in the movie, and that was really cool that she got an she got an Oscar nomination for such a action type movie that you don't get. But yeah, she was really good in the movie. I think it's her best performance. I think the movie just looked good. The designs were good. The practical effects were great. The characters, the whole cast was great. Well paced. I don't know. After I saw this movie, I was like, this might be my favorite movie in the series. And I've only seen two movies. And I'm like, it's going to be hard to beat this one. And none of the other movies beat it. throughout the whole series, I just kept going back to, man, I had so much fun watching this movie for the first time and going, okay, I get why people like this movie. I don't get Alien. I don't get why people like that movie, but I get why people like Aliens. And it is my favorite movie in the series. Um, so hopefully that will save me from some of the ridicule of some of my other choices, but hopefully that's a good choice for number one. Please tell me in the comments, what do you think about that? Aliens, is that the best movie in the series? What do you think is the best movie in the Alien Predator series? I'd love to see your comments there on that, and please be friendly to me on my choices, just my personal choices, my personal what I like, in movies. It's just a personal thing. But anyway, so those are my 15, ranking all 15 movies in the Alien Predator series. Thanks so much for going on this journey with me. It was fun getting to finally get through all these movies I've heard about and have avoided for my whole life. Now I know what people are talking about. Anyway, so it's been a lot of fun reviewing all these movies, now getting to do this ranking. So I'm done with the series and I got to find something else to do. But thank you so much for anybody that's watching these reviews, liking them. Thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you. And I just hope you have a good rest of the week. And I will talk to you later.